going on, guys? In this video, it's been highly anticipated. A little walk around on the bike, things I like, things I don't like, things I've changed, things I'd recommend you to change. Yeah, let's just get into it. Do a quick once over on the bike. I've had it for a little over a year and a half now, and I'll show you what I've done to keep it going strong. Alright guys, I'll be behind the camera for this video. Sorry for the bad framing in the beginning. I thought the pull-up intro would be a lot cooler if I got off the bike and my head was chopped off. But here we are. As you can see, changed the graphics out recently. That was the most recent thing that I've done to the bike. Wasn't too bad. I got these high quality graphics here. They're pretty thick, extremely sticky. Monster Energy ones. I got these actually off AliExpress for $10. It took about 3 weeks to get here, so nothing, no regrets with that purchase. $10. They gave me the number plate, the front, the shrouds, the back shrouds, the fender, and then they gave me a whole bunch of other stickers for around the bike that I haven't got to putting on yet. Before this, originally, if you saw my first video, they had to change your SSR brake pads, which thank you guys very much for all the support on that video. It's my most viewed video on YouTube. Not saying much because it's only 2,000 views, but still, go check it out. Hopefully you don't have to because you don't have brake problems, but in the event that you do, go ahead and go check it out. The links will be in the description below. But the bike used to be red, and that explains all the red accents around the bike, like the Dunlop stickers on the swing arm and the red shifter lever. Those will all be soon switched to black and other colors and stuff like that, just so it matches. Things that I've changed, I think the first thing that I did when I got the bike, I went ahead and swapped out the original tires for it, just because those other tires that they ship with, those are all right for the first few hours until you realize that you have no tread. So I went with these MX52 by Dunlop. My local tire motorcycle shop had I believe these were $30 for the rear and like $40 for the fronts. Running both of them. Yeah, great tires. I mean, I got a really cool shot of me that I'll probably include right here, doing a berm shot in some of the sand when I first got the tires on, and it was throwing sand all over the place. It was pretty awesome. I believe I picked those up the very first week or so, and the next thing, which I would highly recommend, this is my second pit bike ever. The first one, the chain broke and slapped the stator cover right here, and it caused a whole bunch of issues. So I told myself I'd never go with the cheap chain again. So on this one I went with the Pro Taper 420 chain. It's a big DID chain, the gold chain, and then I always put some chain lube on it and make sure that's properly maintained, and I haven't had any issues with it. It's popped off one time, but that was more of a neglect thing on my part. Moving on, I put this eBay aftermarket shock on here with the dampening adjustments. One of the levers fell off right there, but you can see the dampening adjustment right up there. It really helped because I weigh over 220 pounds on this little guy, so if that's one of your concerns on watching this video and if you should get that bike, I wouldn't let that discourage you. Maybe height restrictions, but we'll get into that here in a few. But yeah, the shock, it's pretty stiff, holds me up, doesn't make the bike slouch too much. Yeah, definitely a good purchase. I believe it was like $45. Wasn't too hard. You undo these bolts, it flies out, and then undo those two and then slide the new one in. Nothing too crazy like that. After that, the first time I redid my brakes, I went ahead and struggled like most of you guys did. So I got the new brake pads from eBay for about $5 to $10. Not too bad if that's something that you need to do. When I first got the bike, I took a pretty hard fall. Luckily, the bike didn't mess up too much. But when I fell, I kicked this coil plug off, actually, and which connects to your CDI box, which is located on the inside. So trusty eBay and Amazon combination, I was able to get this thing replaced and get back on the road. So replaced it once and never had an issue with it again. So and I don't think it was very expensive, less than $10 for sure. Moving on, after that fall, I did bend those Chinese bars that the bike comes with. So I went ahead and got me some Pro Taper SE bars, 7/8 bars essentially is what it is, for an XR50, and they go ahead and slide right in and tighten them down, and haven't had issues with them since. I haven't even touched them. I just made sure to Loctite these bolts right here, and I haven't had any issues with it. Of course, with new bars comes new grips. Went ahead and did these black and gray Scott grips. Pretty soft. I really like them. They came with the donuts on there as well. That's a pretty nice touch. Really helped the fatigue on my hands when riding long distances. That's just a little GoPro mount, handlebar mount that you can slap the GoPro right there and get a different angle. Not too big of a fan of it because the vibrations that the bike brings, but it's cool for slower shots if you're riding with other people. Problems I've had with the bike, as you can see right here on the tire, you can see a lot of wear and tear on that rim. That's just basically from taking the tire and tube on and off. I have had a lot of flat tires on this, not due to riding in stickers or stuff like that, or impact from jumping, mainly from, I would say, the spoke, but I've had a lot of issues with valve stems. Luckily, I found a motorcycle shop that sells these for fairly cheap, $7.50 for a heavy duty tube. Yeah, so other than that, the bike's been real good. I Loctited everything when I first got the bike. That alleviated a lot of future problems that I've had with other bikes. Let me see here. The only other issue that I keep having, and I don't know if you guys know a fix for this, however, where the muffler connects to the exhaust pipe, that tends to rattle and loosen up over here. All it is just a hose clamp right under this fender, and you'll know when it happens because it'll start to sound like a crazy lawnmower, and it won't sound like it did before. It's not a big deal. I just go in there and retighten the clamp, but it's still pretty annoying that happens. Future updates, future modifications that I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do that Mikuni carb upgrade. Right now I'm just rocking with the stock carb. I've had one of those pod filters, those Can-In, like cold air intake looking filters that they sell for this bike, and I noticed it restricted too much air, so I went back to the pod filter that the bike came with, and just make sure you oil those for $11 at AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts, one of those places. Picked up a Can-In recharging air filter kit, so I clean it. I keep, because it's real dusty around here where I ride, so I make sure it's lubed up, and it's a two-stage filter, so every time I wash the bike, I take it off and, you know, make sure I put a bag around the carb and use their degreaser and take all the nasty stuff out of this filter. So it's lasted this whole, year and a half or so that I've had the bike with no issues. Other than that, I did change the shifter lever, because the other one, I felt like I kept missing gears, and I thought, because the other one is held on by just some retaining pin right here, so I thought I was clicking the actual lever. However, it was just the head of this thing moving. So I went ahead and AliExpressed me one of these bad boys. I did have an issue. You can see the bolt goes on the bottom. I didn't think that was very smart because the bolt could just fall out. So in the very beginning, I tried to put the bolt on top. However, only one of these clamps is threaded, and I stripped it. So that day I learned how to use a tap and die set, and that's mainly one of the reasons why I got the bike, is to learn how to use certain tools and stuff like that. So I just retapped it and put a new screw in there, and I was good to go. did swap out the chain guide on the bottom. That was more of an aesthetic reason. Probably be switching back to another black one. But yeah, other than that, keep your chain lubed. Keep changing your oil. It should last you, a pretty long time. I did change the gas fuel lines for no particular reason. I just saw them and figured I should probably do it. I'm still looking for a replacement of one of those, just to have a clean fuel line. But other than that, I haven't had really any issues. Like I said, the brake issue in the very beginning, but I worked through that. Tore up the forums and figured out how to do it and made a video for you guys. So if you want to see more videos, just go ahead and drop it in the comments section. Give it a like, share this video. I know the SSR community is pretty awesome community, a younger crowd. I'm 24, so I'm probably the oldest in the crowd. But yeah, no, this bike has been fun. I bought it just to putt around with and kill some time, and that's exactly what it's done. Haven't hurt myself too bad on it. So yeah, so until the next video, like, comment, give me a subscribe, and check out my other videos if you're into guns, if you want to see a review of anything like that, gun how-to videos. I got a lot of stuff coming, a lot of vlogs and recap style range videos. So if you're in a state where guns aren't really are frowned upon, you can go ahead and check out my videos and ask me any questions. I can try and help you out there. But yeah, thank you for watching. Oh yeah, one other mod that I did in the very beginning was went on Amazon and changed this front sprocket size. I went one size up, so I believe I went up 2 teeth, so it's either a 16 or a 17. I'll have to check my description and I'll put it right there on the screen on what size I went up to, but I ended up going up to make that first gear a little more usable. And you can hear in the videos, I very rarely ever go into 4th gear on this thing now, and usually just cruise around in 3rd. So I'll throw some shots of me going 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and touching 4th, and it's already moving pretty well. Acceleration didn't mess up too bad, but I would rather have a little slower acceleration than a longer gear ratio in a usable 1st gear, in my opinion. So yeah, also the stand that the bike is sitting on rests, it's pretty high off the ground on the front and in the rear. I would definitely recommend spending the extra $20 or whatever and getting one of these from Harbor Freight. I'll throw the link to this guy in the description below as well. But yeah, thanks guys.